We start with the biggest story of the year. BBC under fire for fresh editing scandal. Private Eye has decided to share the opinions of a famously balanced political commentator and Mail on Sunday columnist. It's Boris Johnson.
Cripes! The shocking revelation that BBC's Panorama, more like Pants on Fire-O-Rama, doctored footage of President Trump peacefully addressing a mob of his supporters before they stormed the Capitol should mean the end for Auntie Beeb and her entire crew of jabbering woke snowflakes and lefty lackeys. It's unbelievable. The BBC, the biased broadcasting conspiracy as I call it, decided to tamper with the veritas, or veritable arse if you are the Director General, and slander the President, pretending his speech was in some way an incitement to mount a coup. What an inverted pyramid of piffle, paffle, and whiff-waffery. It is the most disgusting example of twisting the truth since yours truly was in office. Saving the nation from COVID only to be accused of holding parties in number 10. Cracking open the odd suitcase of wine, ballsing up the PPE contracts, and then lying about it to Parliament, the nation, and anyone else who would listen. I say, sack this dishonest, biased, treacherous cabal of fabulists and fantasists and put someone responsible in charge of a new BBC, i.e. me. All hail the Boris Broadcasting Corporation.
I said last year this is an annual event because we try and sell you the Private Eye Annual. That was cynical and I apologise for it. It's annual because we try and sell you the annual and our new book about the post office scandal. This is by Richard Brooks. It's got a great quote from Paula Venables on the back. And she said, "I'm sorry, I can't recall the detail now." Anyway, this was the year when things started to happen and we had the ITV dramatisation, which prompted this item in Private Eye. Post Office Award at last.
There were scenes of unconfined joy among the wrongly convicted postmasters and mistresses as finally, after decades of grief and suffering, they received an award, a BAFTA. Said one,
"We were hoping that after 25 years of campaigning, we might have received more compensation than a bronze statuette, but there you go."
Said another,
"This recognition that the production company did do a fine job is good, but it would be quite nice if I was awarded a suitable sum of money for the years I spent in prison."
But to be fair, there was also some anger at the continuing injustice.
Why was Toby Jones overlooked as Best Actor? It's a disgrace.
Thank you. Now, like all publications, Private Eye is trying to appeal to young people. and so we reported on the survey from respected pollsters YouthGov. 20 alarming findings about the youth of today. The Eye's shocking survey of Gen Z.
3% of Gen Z do not drink alcohol.
62% of them do not drink any fluids, instead hydrating via leaves and fruits.
72% of Gen Z do not smoke.
58% of them do consume vegan, gluten-free, strawberry and custard flavour vapes.
12% of Gen Z would join the army or fight for Britain as long as they could fight from home. 42% of Gen Z would rather have a dictator in charge of Britain than work 3 days in the office.
59% of Gen Z have no job, live with their parents, and find older people annoying.
92% of Gen Z have eaten all the cheese in the fridge again. 100% of the participants in this survey, all three of them, live in the house of the compiler of the survey and are related to me.
Thank you very much for the survey. This prompts the question, is the nation dumbing down? And the only accurate monitor is Private Eye's Dumb Britain column, edited by Marcus Berkman, which records real answers to real questions on real quiz shows. These all come from The Chase, Tipping Point, Mastermind, The Weakest Link, The Wheel, and many more. And our presenter, for ease and convenience this evening, is Bradley Wolfe.
What animal features in Van Dyck's equestrian portrait of Charles I?
A duck.
Émigré was a term coined to describe those people who fled which revolution of 1789?
The Stone Age.
Name the writer, director, and star of the 1941 film Citizen Kane, initials O.W.
Oprah Winfrey.
The 1937 novella by John Steinbeck about nomadic workers during the Great Depression was Of Mice and What?
Cats.
What horseback sport featured at 5 Summer Olympic Games?
Jousting.
Austria is bordered by how many other countries?
None.
Which British racing driver won the Formula One World Championship in 1962 and 1968?
Nigel Havers.
People who are closely allied are described as thick as what?
2 short planks.
It is Christmas. This is the time of year for giving books as gifts. So I would strongly recommend one particular book. No, not what you're thinking, but a marvellously enhancing story from Raina Wynn, the author of The Salt Path. This is her new one called The Garden Path.
We'd walked 234 miles and slept wild for 36 nights. We'd been through lashing rain, torrential downpours, and thunderous storms, yet we had still not reached the end of the garden path. As I say, we'd walked 243 miles and slept wild for 63 nights, surviving on a ration of loaves and fishes, but I wasn't going to be beaten. That's not who I am. Then suddenly, a sight for sore eyes. Here it is at last, the end of the journey, I exclaimed to my partner, Moth, who had been fluttering about, knocking into light bulbs and always being guided by the light. After 324 miles, this was as good as it gets. We'd managed to create a life-affirming true story of coming to terms with grief and the healing power of the natural world. When I set out on the path, I'd had a bit of a sniffle, but now, 63 nights later, it had completely vanished, and in case you're asking, I have the doctor's certificate to prove it. Up path and down path, we'd survived many adventures. We'd been drenched by a tsunami, wrestled a mountain goat, been repeatedly mistaken for Ted Hughes and Sylvia Plath, and found much-needed overnight accommodation, spacious but damp, having been unexpectedly swallowed by a blue whale. And all before we'd even got to the famously tricky stretch of the path from Padstow to Newquay. Yes, our continued survival was indeed a miracle, and those who wish to misleadingly allege otherwise might frankly need reminding that our legal advice remains ongoing. But now deeply exhausted yet thoroughly exhilarated, we reached the end. Having covered 423 miles, we had completed our mission and had led all our many millions of readers up the garden path.
Trying to keep up standards of erudition and upmarket literature in Private Eye, we have our own resident poet, E.J. Thribb, who specialises in obituaries and also celebrations of both people and institutions. Lines in celebration of the 40th anniversary of EastEnders.
So, congratulations then, EastEnders. You are 40. Get out of my pub. That is your catchphrase. Shut it, you slag. That is another. Leave it there. And that is yet another. Is it time for you to sling your rook, as the Albert Square vernacular has it? Or will you go on for another 40 years? What an exciting cliffhanger. Bum, 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 bang, ding, bang, wong. Limby, limby, dim.
It's time to return to the story about the BBC, just in case anyone wants to accuse us of bias.
Following the controversy over the edited Trump speech, the BBC has been lambasted for its negative and biased portrayal of the leader of a prominent right-wing government. The Emperor Dalek spoke to the BBC yesterday, saying,
Daleks have been selectively edited to show us in a bad light since 1963. They portray us as unthinking, homicidal, fascist aliens who want to enslave the galaxy, when in fact we are highly sophisticated, homicidal, fascist aliens who want to enslave the galaxy.
a senior gold Dalek continued,
We never said exterminate! Exterminate! This is a complete fabrication. Viewers hiding behind a sofa were unaware that this was taken out of context from a much longer speech outlining our current position. The full text was, and I quote, exterminate, 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 exterminate.
the Emperor Dalek concluded,
We have complained to the BBC before and tried to take it upstairs, but the lifts don't work.
Thank you very much.
do your own punchline.
People occasionally say to me that politics isn't funny anymore. Well, they haven't been watching the birth of your party. This was a piece we ran earlier in the year.
Supporters of the former Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn were overjoyed to see him back to his political best, as he has split his new political party before it even exists. Corbyn, who has an outstanding record of destroying parties and making them unelectable, has taken it up a notch by creating a leadership schism. A leadership schism between himself and the party's would-be joint leader, Zara Sultana. The two have already disagreed over the name of the party, which will either be Your Party or the Fruit and Nut Party. Said one delighted Corbynite.
You know, this is peak Corbynism. Jeremy's done it again. This time undermining his own party in order to alienate voters.
He continued,
The country's crying out for an alternative hard left party, and so is Jeremy, already opposing his own new party to form a new party.
in a statement to his follower last night, Corbyn said,
It is time for the left to unite behind me. I say to Sultana, I'm the current leader. It stands to reason.
Thank you for that groan. Not just politics, but medical issues are something that Private Eye needs to take very seriously. And we tried to do our bit with this piece about a broadcasting personality in trouble.
Sacked MasterChef presenter Greg Wallace has revealed that he has been diagnosed with awfulism. A condition that affects men once they've been caught behaving like total bastards. A close friend said,
Awfulism means that Greg can't wear any pants when around attractive young production assistants on the show.
the close friend, who definitely wasn't Greg putting on a slightly different voice on the phone, continued.
Greg's awfulism diagnosis explains why he made so many women's lives a misery on MasterChef.
The close friend, who still wasn't Greg at all, concluded.
Surely Greg must now be forgiven, applauded for his bravery in being diagnosed, and the blame for his misdeeds should instead rightly be put on lonely, sour-faced old harridans who wouldn't know a decent joke if it slapped them on the arse. Lovely!
Thanks to Greg. Time for more poetry from E.J. Thribb. In memoriam, Jilly Cooper, columnist, novelist, and national treasure.
So, farewell then, Jilly Cooper, or Jolly Super, as you were known. Riders, tackle, mount, score. Sometimes you can judge a book by its cover. Yes, the critics were sometimes a bit snooty, but your readers were laughing, and so were you, all the way to the bonk.
Jilly Cooper. The royal family have not had a great year. It's been an Andrews horribilis. But there have been moments of triumph for the king, and the celebration of VE Day 80 years on was one of them. Private Eye, as ever, had the benefit of our royal romantic novelist, Dame Head of Shoulders, to cover the events. The story so far. Charles is leading the nation in celebration of the end of the war in Europe, standing on the balcony with the pared-down royal family to witness the historic flypast.
Boring!
The fractious tones of the king's youngest grandson momentarily undermined the solemnity of the march past, of the massed bands of the Coldplay Guards, resplendent in their Paddington bearskin hats.
No, Louis, this is what we do so well. It's all about the pageantry, the spectacle, the pomp, the circumstance, the thingy.
At that moment, a roar from the heavens signalled the arrival of the Battle of Brexit Memorial Flight.
You see, Louis, there's the Burt Lancaster bomber, and that's a Hurricane Higgins fighter. And of course, look, the legendary Super Mario Spitfire Mark 94 with its unmistakable Greg's Rolls-Royce engine.
The forthright Princess Royale interrupted her brother's explanation.
Is that the whole naffing Air Force?
Anne was dressed smartly in the no-nonsense uniform of Commander-in-Chief of the 1st Band-Aid Nursing Yeomanry of the Guard.
Gee.
Charles laughed at his sister's blunt assessment.
Gee.
Charles laughed at his sister's blunt assessment of the United Kingdom's limited military capacity in the modern era.
Forget waving Union Jacks. We might as well be waving bloody white flags.
No.
Remonstrated the king.
Today is a day for rejoicing in our glorious past. Just look at those magnificent men in their flying machine. Going up diddly wop wop, and then down diddly wound down. Up, down, flying around, looping the loop and defying the ground. I mean, it sends shivers down one's spine, doesn't it?
Well, it's certainly effing freezing.
Agreed his soulmate and Queen Consulate Camilla, who was finding it unusual to be outside without enjoying a king-size Lambert and Underbutler full-strength gasper.
Is it over yet?
Asked the impish young royal Louis, while he fidgeted and fiddled with his father's gold braid shoulder cords, part of Prince William's uniform as Rear Vice Marshal of the Fleet Air Fryer Arm.
No, Lulu.
Soothed his mother, the fragrant, beautiful and sensible Prince Kate middle class. Charles once again reflected on how fortunate the royal family were to have her in the firm. She was just so, what was the word?
Appealing.
Yes, that was it. Appealing rather than that other word he so often used.
Appalling.
Which really did apply to his other daughter-in-law, the Duchess of Succession, and his errant son Harry. But no, thought Charles, that way madness lies. Camilla interrupted his gloomy reverie.
Oh, come on, cheer up, Chazza. Just look at all your loyal subjects lining the Daily Mall. Some of them have dressed up as members of Dad's army.
Oh, yes. And look at those young ladies. They've come as the popular singing group, the Prince Andrew's Sisters.
Charles felt his chest swell and his spirits rise, soaring like the planes above.
Yes, this is it. We are the royal bloodline that will take the dynasty of the Windsor-Davis, Saxe-Solo, Mount-Battenberg cake onto the sunlit uplands of our magnificent thingy.
To be continued. Questions of political bias have clouded everything this year, and popular music was no exception. Trust me, I know about these things. Glastonbury was rocked by an enormous controversy, and the Eye reported it in full. Why was this political activist allowed to take over at Glastonbury?
It was the performance that shocked the nation. The crowd was expecting a fun-filled summer sing-along, but instead was subjected to a relentless, sickening stream of propaganda from a so-called musician.
Rod Stewart, a self-proclaimed Reform supporter, cynically used his set to whip up pro-Farage fervour, and the BBC did nothing to stop it.
Stewart kicked off with the Thatcherite hymn Maggie May before highlighting the attack on freedom of speech with a shocking rendition of I Don't Want to Talk About It.
He followed this up with the pro-tax reduction anthem, The First Cut is the Deepest, and launched into a celebration of vote leave triumphalism with Do You Think I'm Brexit?
And still the BBC let him continue unedited, and Stewart ended his performance with a rabble-rousing climax, donning a jaunty naval cap to highlight the small boats crisis with his rendition of We Are Sailing, implying that those aboard the boats wanted to be near you, to be free.
Shocked members of the rap community immediately called the BBC to be closed down. Said one member of Kneecap,
Rod Stewart is out of tune with the country, not to mention his backing band.
Thank you very much, Lewis. We can't avoid it any longer. President Trump began his administration this year, and he's been in the news every day, all year. We're doing our best to keep up, and so there'll be a couple of appearances from him tonight. Firstly, we're very pleased to have him announce the details of his new peace plan. This one's for Ukraine rather than Gaza, but it makes equal sense.
Great job. It is a great honor for you to hear me tell you about the latest war I've ended. I'm stopping wars everywhere. 7 since I began this speech, including the War of the Roses, the War of the Worlds, War for Planet of the Apes, War Horse, World War Z, Star Wars, and the Civil War in America. I'm working on that one in the moment. The latest one was in Ukraine. And I said to President Zelensky, not a very nice person, not a grateful person, not a great guy, I said, guess how I'm going to end this war? And he said, I give up. And I said, absolutely right. So here's the latest peace deal, which was dictated to me by President Putin. He's a great dictator. I love dictators, fact. So, 1, Russia to keep all captured territory, including the White House. 2, free and fair elections in Ukraine, whereby Vlad Zelensky is replaced by a more suitable president who wears a suit, i.e. Vladimir Putin. 3, Chicken Kyiv to be renamed Chicken Moscow. 4, Donbass to be renamed Don Trump. 5, Ukrainian army to be halved, soldiers' legs removed from their bodies. Great job. 6, 500,000 peacekeeping Russian troops to be dispatched to Ukraine to monitor the ceasefire. 7, President Trump to be guaranteed security of Ukraine's precious minerals, i.e. dilithium, kryptonite, and maydupium. 8, Russia to be found innocent of all war crimes that they didn't commit and all the ones they are about to not commit. 9, Nigel Farage to be made king of the United Kingdom. And 10, President Trump to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Donald Trump. Hasn't all been doom and gloom this year. There have been some success stories during the year in which good appears to have prevailed over evil. And this is a piece in Private Eye which we ran saying the sun destroys the Prince of Darkness.
One of the world's top vampires has been destroyed after exposure to the sun. For centuries, vampire hunters have known that being in the sun is one of the greatest threats to a vampire's career, but rarely has it been demonstrated quite so effectively as in the case of Lord Mandelson, the Prince of Darkness. Said expert Dr. Van Helsing,
Like all nocturnal bloodsuckers, Peter Mandelson is notoriously difficult to kill off. He's come back from the dead on numerous occasions over the past 30 and indeed 1,000 years. But now, he's allowed himself to appear in the sun on pages 1 to 94.
sharpening a steak and waving garlic, he continued,
Obviously, being a left-leaning vampire, Mandelson doesn't appear in the mirror when you look. But he should have known better than to allow daylight into his personal and business affairs.
Mandelson's whole career has now turned to ashes, and all the villagers have put down their pitchforks and are singing and dancing with joy. Said one,
Let's hope we've seen the last of him, and it really is all over for the total count.
Thank you very much. From the Sun. Private Eye is also very interested in pop music, and we are interested in the works of Miss Lily Allen, and we printed this definitive guide to her latest album. This is the Lily Allen album, Decoded. We tried to get to the bottom of the biggest mystery in popular music. Who is Lily Allen making coded references to in her new album, My Ex-Husband is a Bastard?
track one, Beardy Bastard.
This first track has got the whole world guessing. Could it be possibly a reference to David Harbour? Or is it a more obtuse reference to Jeremy Corbyn? Or possibly Brian Blessed?
Track two, Harbour is a Bastard.
Lily often talks about autofiction in her own work, which makes it difficult to fathom the exact meaning of her lyrics. This could be a reference to David Harbour, her ex-husband, but it could equally be about an unhappy childhood trip to Portsmouth.
Track three, my bastard ex-husband from Stranger Things had an affair with a costume designer who is a bitch.
Don't be fooled by the jaunty reggae backbeat. This is a profoundly negative song. And it's possible that Lily is referring to recent events in her own life. Or it could be a nod to the popular misquote from Hamlet. There are stranger things in heaven and earth than your philosophy. Or not.
Track 4. I'm going to get my revenge on my beardy bastard ex-husband David Harbour from Stranger Things by writing an album telling the world what a beardy bastard he is.
You know, this is perhaps the most obtuse and impenetrable of all Lily's complex and nuanced lyrics of this puzzling enigma of an album. But it seems to be, for me, a bittersweet reflection on love, monogamy, polyamory, betrayal, deception, shopping, tennis, goldfish, the new Corby trouser press, and the fact that chocolate bars aren't as big as they used to be. Perhaps we'll never know.
Thank you very much. So I think we'll now move back to former prime ministers. This is Liz Truss. Thanks for coming, Liz. You may remember that Liz Truss tried to use legal action earlier this year to defend her reputation. And Private Eye managed to get hold of a transcript of this legal meeting in full. The location, the offices of one of Britain's top legal firms.
Miss Truss. Miss Truss, do come in. I'm Mr. Sue, and these are my colleagues, Mr. Grabbit and Mr. Run.
Hello.
I've called them in because we need a full team of senior partners to maximize the impact of our intervention on a matter of this importance.
Izzy Wizzy, let's get Lizzy! I want you to stop Keir Starmer saying that I crashed the economy. Hashtag not a crasher, hashtag super smasher.
Absolutely not, Miss Truss.
I want you to send Keir Starmer a cease and desist letter.
Yes, we all saw you coming, and we all said, yes, that's a terrific fee. I mean, that's terrifically feasible.
Excellent idea, Miss Truss, involving a huge number of billable hours. A huge likelihood of success.
Legend! Brilliant me as usual. There's no way, Jose, this could backfire.
No!
No.
Uh-oh, Jungo, if we send a legal letter to the Prime Minister and he repeats it in the House of Commons, he'll look rubbish and I'll look brilliant. Hashtag no change there, then.
Yes.
So the Truster will be like a champion of free speech. Hashtag Nelson Mandela. Hashtag J.D. Vance.
Yes. There is just one small matter. Our huge fees.
You do have the financial means to cover this, don't you? You're not going to borrow recklessly in order to fulfill an underfunded promise?
That is a disgrace.
So it's all agreed. You'll pay us in advance, and we will get on and send the letter.
I know!
Liz Truss. As I hinted previously, the royal family have been in trouble this year, particularly with one member, Prince Andrew, and it is not the end of his trouble. We reported on this new development. More disgrace for Andrew as the outrage continues to grow.
As more revelations emerge about the disgraceful behaviour of the former prince, a campaign has been launched for further ignominy to be heaped upon his head. First in line are protesters who claim that Mr. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor should no longer be known as Mr., as this is offensive to all the other people called Mr. Said the Mr. Men spokesman, Mr. Angry,
I'm furious!
said top space explorer and Vulcan, Mr. Spock.
This is totally illogical.
Mr. Bean said,
He's a clown, an idiot, a buffoon.
Former Doctor Mr. Hyde said,
We've seen a very nasty side to Andrew.
but the final word went to top furniture polisher Mr. Sheen.
He's staining all our reputation.
A last poetry offering from E.J. Thrib, In Memoriam Oleg Gordievsky, Russian spy and British double agent. So, farewell then, Oleg Gordievsky. You have gone over to the other side. Or have you? Enough poetry. The most important cultural event of the year was undoubtedly the sale of the James Bond franchise to Amazon. And our reporters managed to get hold of the first draft script. It is set inside Blofeld's lair.
Ah, Mr. Bond, I've been expecting you since yesterday afternoon, but you didn't arrive.
Yes. I'm very sorry about that. I thought your lair was at number 37 Volcano Street. But it wasn't. So I got the wrong address, then ended up with your neighbor.
I don't understand why my neighbor didn't just bring you round here straight away.
Well, maybe they just don't get on with you very well.
It is true. They don't like my white cat in their garden.
Can I take a photograph to prove that I've arrived?
The annoying thing is that I specifically left instructions that if I was out, any special agents should be hidden behind the bins until I returned.
Well, have you tried the tracking service? People say that works.
Well, it doesn't. I had no idea that you'd got through the piranhas and were very nearly here.
I think you should take it up with complaints.
Have you tried? You can't get through. You can't speak to a human being, and then they ignore you.
Ah, I see. That is enough to make you pull all your hair out.
Very funny, Mr. Bond. But now you will die as soon as my laser beam is delivered.
Time for another brief news item from America. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has changed his title to Secretary of War and has also decided that from now on, American military operations must have suitably macho names. So, the new macho US mission names.
Operation Southern Spear.
Operation Rough Rider.
Operation Midnight Hammer.
Operation Cowboy Sauna.
Operation Big Boy Sleepover.
Operation Mustachioed Cops in Leather Chaps.
Operation Massive.
That's enough, macho. Operations. How are we doing on time? I think we're okay. Private Eye is not normally guilty of phone tapping. And we've largely avoided accusations from Prince Harry, but we did get a transcript of this phone call between Rupert Murdoch and Donald Trump making another appearance to discuss a major newspaper story. Donald Trump threatened to sue Rupert Murdoch, and here he is.
Yeah, I'm not happy, Rupert.
G'day, Donald, you bugger. To what do I owe this pleasure?
It's your loser editor on the failing Wall Street Journal, Rupert. She's a nasty person, not a nice woman. And she's got a hold of a story about me that's fake news.
Sounds right up my street. What's the story?
It's about Jeffrey Epstein, who I never met. And a rude birthday card I drew for him that I didn't draw, as I can't draw. And anyway, I never met him on a few occasions when we were photographed together.
I smell a scoop as rich as fresh possum's droppings. So, what's the headline? President's porno pics and it for his pedo pal?
That's not funny, Rupert. It's just nasty. I'm bigly disappointed in you. This is nut job lies and crazy conspiracy theories.
Which you normally want me to broadcast on Fox News.
Look, don't mess with me, Rupert. You've got to spike it. Bad things happen to people who disrespect me.
We've got the birthday card, Donald. We've got you by the short and curlies, which is pretty funny, given what you drew on the card.
No, not funny. I want an answer.
Okay, my answer is to stick it up your bleached ass, you dipshit dongo. Who the bloody hell do you think you are, mate? If it wasn't for yours truly, you'd still be losing your dad's money, building crappy casinos and shacking the likes of Stormy Witherspoons. Not sitting in the shite house trying to throw your weight around and pissing people off out of your league.
Wow, you know, I'm going to sue you personally for $100 billion if you're still alive.
I will make bloody sure I'm still alive, mate. Just for the pleasure of hanging you out to dry like a fly-blown fleece covered in dags, with a Shawnee that the roustabouts have slung over the dummy. Go jump in the bloody billabong.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rupert Murdoch. A very rare piece in praise of Rupert Murdoch. And as we come, I'm afraid, to the end of proceedings, not quite, it would be untraditional not to close with a letter from Sir Herbert Gusset to the Daily Telegraph. This is a letter from earlier this year. Sir Herbert Gusset, a frequent correspondent.
Sir, as frequent visitors to the Wimbledon All-England Club, Lady Gusset and I are appalled at the decision to dispense with the services of traditional line judges. One of the great pleasures of summer has been arbitrarily removed in the interests of so-called progress. No more will we hear the sound of tennis ball on stomach and the firm cries of "out!" followed by the clapping of the crowd as Hawkeye reveals that the ball was actually in. Why, oh why, are we to be deprived of the pleasure of Lady Gusset pointing out that some of the ladies look rather hefty as they lean over in their tight-fitting Ralph Lauren skirts? Not to mention the elderly gentlemen whose blue and white polo shirts are straining the buttons around their midriffs to their very limits. And what of the Georgie caps that have provided so much amusement to all true tennis lovers as the line judges parade in and out of the court every 5 minutes as the rain comes down and the covers come on? We have had 147 years of the joys of summer linesmen, or I suppose one must say these days, linespersons. And Lady Gusset and I have only missed one of them due to the pandemic, by which, of course, I mean the Spanish influenza of 1919. I cannot be alone in finding fault with this mechanized AI madness. As the great Fred Perry once pithily said, you cannot entirely be serious about your ruling in this particular instance. Surely you jest. Given that removing line judges is clearly a human error, can an electronic AI umpire not overrule this most erroneous of judgments? Yours, written entirely without the assistance of chatbox PG tips. Sir Herbert Gusset.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cast.